Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Dishonored with Jack Fisco. Alright, last we left off, I had actually just finished the mission. If you saw the recap, I went back and did the first level, no kill. I actually went back and did it again before I started recording this episode, specifically because I knew there was something we'd missed. I found a little hermit zone where he's got a stash of goodies and a few other things, so I actually made it to the first level finding all the loot, because I was being anally methodical about it, so I found it all, but I didn't want to record it because it took me like 30 minutes. Anyway, the note that we'd missed. Dead Hermit's note. It's here by Wrenhaven. I'll make my last home. It stinks to the void, but my grandmom's hagfish stool drive the odor away. I remember sailing out on this river to the great ocean, that vast, blinding light and blue water. I was a tender 15, and our nets were always full to bursting. The old days, before everything went to shit. Anyway, it goes. Excuse me. Anyway it goes, it's either the boots of the watch against my skull, the teeth of the rats on my bones, or the trembles of the plague all over my body. Don't matter none to me. So yeah, that poor guy met his end in his own little hermit shed. So basically, we've got a little bit of loot there and there and there. There's a building here, but we can't get into it yet. So we gotta try to jump this.
Oh my, you
Hi.
startled me. Ah, you could only be Corvo. I suppose you're practicing for your job?
You can say
You're
that.
much younger than I expected. Do make yourself at home. Terrible you got blamed for the death of the Empress, rest her spirit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it's so dark. We can't risk being seen. It is a bit romantic though, isn't it?
That's one
I used to
word
be the
for it.
hostess here. Oh, I could tell you stories about that, believe me. You can call on Cecilia for the more menial tasks. It's what she's suited for.
Oh really? That sounds
I
insulting.
hope the bed's to your liking. Let me know if you have trouble sleeping.
Will do. Thanks for the key. Litany on the White Cliff. Excerpt from a series of Overseer invocations by High Overseer Abram Templeton. And I say to you, brothers, it is here that we make our stand as a righteous force against the growing darkness. It is here where we unite against the spirits of the unknown that would drag us screaming into the night, never to return to our homes, to our families. Together we will serve as a rod to those who would stray from the herd, for the foggy gray wastes of the outsider. We will burn a bright fire with our virtuous actions so that others will not lose their way. And to those who choose to wander beyond the walls of our homes, in far places, we will strike at them swiftly before they can whisper to their neighbors, filling their hearts with strangeness and doubt. So yeah, there's a religious faction in this is very akin to the Hammers. Yoink. So what do we got here? Harpooner songs. Oh, well, this would be the song that they keep showing up throughout the game. So, what do we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? Feed him to the hungry rats for dinner early in the morning. Way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Slice his throat with a rusty cleaver early in the morning. Stuff him in the sack and throw him over early in the morning. Way hey, up she rises early in the morning. I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to run the risk of YouTube freaking out about me singing a song similar to one that exists. So otherwise, I would. So I apologize for that. So, we are technically in the building. Just gonna poke around a bit. The Shadow on Bitterleaf. Excerpt from a longer work of fiction. Finding my way by the feeble light of the dying fire, I saw her working. A large needle moved in her hand, following precise esoteric patterns, knots and loops of the seamstress craft from ancient days. Beneath her needle, his body clenched and shuddered, shaking the wood. A morbid fascination pushed me closer, until she turned her blank face towards me. Resting with the needle in his flesh. With a refined tone, she addressed me. So you are the lover, I presume. Oh, sorry. Probably should do a woman's voice. 1 second, please. So you are the lover, I presume. You too have been unfaithful, and now it's your turn to be mended. The Young Prince of Tivia, excerpt from a theater play. Lord Nathan Bale, shaking with outrage. How dare you, sir! Clothed so in my very home! I should hand you over to the watch, depraved Tivian! Prince Calisson moving closer. That's a harsh welcome for royalty, my lord. Your daughter treated me with much more hospitality. Alas, she's gone out for the evening, leaving me all alone. Lord Nathan Bale stammered, studying the younger man before him. What are you doing? Leave this house! Go back to your frozen wasteland, pale rascal! Prince Calasar, smiling coyly, reaching out. No need for anger between us, Lord Bale. Is it so wrong for me to be here? As I've proven, I've developed an affinity for you and your family. Lord Nathan Bale gasping. Oh my, Calasar, your skin is so warm it burns. Okay, that was, yeah. Gaffer's Tale, Volume 2. Excerpt from a traveling journal of a whaler in his final years. Gaffer's Tale, Volume 2, or Gaffer's Final Passage. After more than a quarter of a century, I am done with whaling, too broken to continue. I have seen all the corners of the isles and made more coin than most men see in a lifetime. But it's all gone. I lived through an emperor and watched his daughter take the throne. Fair young empress she was, but slain so young. Everything beautiful comes to die. I've eaten in every port of the world, of the known world, and sailed in the loneliest waters you could imagine. I've seen the cliffs around Panacea. Even the best of it doesn't give me an ounce of joy. The years come back across my dreams as a line of butchered bodies, long, sleek, and singing among the waves under the moonlight, only to be speared by ugly, weather-scarred men who'd knife each other for a good pair of boots. Each year I had less time to come home. My tongue forgot the language of small chatter, and those who lived in the city thought me odd. My sister Nina hardly knew what to say to me during our visits. When she lost her business to the Lord Regent's crooked barrister, I was 100 miles east of Morley, gaff hand frozen from the sleek as we tracked the first bull whale we'd seen in months. I helped her as much as I could, but Nina died in the early days of the plague. None of it mattered. If I'm jaded and bitter, it's because this industry has taken away my dreams. The world has beaten me. Poor man. Trying to make a living for his family, and it all went to shit. Not cool. Okay, more loots. See, is there anything downstairs? We'll actually search the rest of the house as we can. I want to see if I can actually jump over and grab that loot that we tried to get when we startled the maid. Let's see, can we actually get down from here? Will it let us? Can we get out of here? Something's bubbling in there. We're gonna quick save in case we don't want to go through this door.
So it's starting at last, Admiral. We found our man. Even after 6 months in Coldridge Prison, he slipped out like it was nothing.
Yes. Not surprising. He was the personal bodyguard of the Empress. You've heard the stories.
Yes, I have. It still amazes me that someone could get to the Empress and young Lady Emily.
No one knows the real story, Trevor. We all have our suspicions. We'll know the truth in time.
He's strong and quick. But I hope he understands subtlety as well.
This isn't one of your fancy dress parties. The reality is that we need men killed. Have you ever killed a man?
Only with my wit. But it's a fair point as always. He'll be here soon, and I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Always good to eavesdrop on your future compatriots to know what they're truly up to. We already finished all our dialogue with him. So before we get the ball rolling, let's actually see if we can get the loot around the back. Then we'll sneak up and meet some of the other people who live here. We've met the boatman. We've met the maid. We've overheard the conversation of a lord and an admiral. And there are 2 other people that live here. Well, technically 3. The third one we can't actually talk to until after the sequence of introductions is over. Okay, so can I get this? Dang it! I almost had it! I almost had it! I almost had it! It highlighted. I could have gotten it. Come on, grab it! I can see the loot right there. Don't taunt me like this. Don't taunt me. Just give me my loot. I don't know if we're going to be able to get up there before a certain point in the game, so that's going to suck. As we progress, we do actually get the ability to jump higher, sprint further, things like that, so we're not permanently stuck with the abilities we have now, so. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get that right now. That sucks. Alright, let's meet 2 more of the house guests.
Welcome to the Hound Pit Pub, sir. How may I help?
Hello, sir. I am Wallace, and this is Cecilia. We have been informed of your arrival and will do our best to stay out of your way while you conduct your business.
Yes. Lydia's a servant here as well. The Admiral served in the Navy under the Empress. But something happened with the Lord Regent that drove the Admiral out. If I understand it right.
What is that? Wait.
Admiral Havelock made it very clear that we aren't to carry lamps outside. Maybe you haven't seen much of it, but the city has changed a great deal after the Empress died. Since the Lord Regent took over, the city watch is best avoided. Most people try not to go outside at all.
Sounds like a
You can't
dictator
leave
state.
the pub. I've nowhere to go anyway. My apartment was in the flooded district.
I'm sorry. Alright, can we actually... Nope, we can't go in there yet. So it's flat out not an option until after the dialogue. So we have to talk to the snooty butler guy, because he's pretty much, I don't want to say lord of the manor, but he's head employee, I guess. Okay, so can we snoop around in here a bit? So we can't get to the up part until after, because we have to be able to access the building that's locked right now. So for now we can't do this. There's nothing over here to grab. So I'm guessing we just go in at this point. I don't know if there's anything else for us to do. I mean, we could actually go through the house. That's an option. Because we actually have access to the other door. Oh, hello. I see a coin. One single, solitary, lonely little coin. Yay, coin! Okay. So we will explore some more of the house. See if we can't learn a thing or two about our so-called fellow compatriots. Okay, what do we have here? Havelock Log, Entry 1. It's been days since our men were dispatched to stash weapons for Corvo in the old sewers. They have not returned, so I can only hope they succeeded in getting the packages delivered. Piro spent considerable time and resources making those things. If I could find a way to mass-produce them, the Dunwall Navy would secure its place as a dominant force on the globe. But back to Corvo. Can he actually break out of Coldridge? And if so, will he make his way here? I personally give him odds of 1 in 5. Should have bet higher. Gaffer's Tale Volume 2. Yeah, we already read that one. Okay. We'll just borrow some of your belongings, don't mind us. Gaffer's Tale Volume 1. The Early Adventures. My sister Nina and I left Tivia together, saying goodbye to our aunt, the woman who had raised us since childhood, leaving behind our home city of Yarrow and the cold but beautiful white landscapes we'd always known. We boarded a ship for Dunwall. Our parents had left us with a sizable inheritance, and we spent half of this getting to the capital city and establishing a small import shop dedicated to Tivian furs. Once I had helped Nina establish the business, I was free to pursue my dream. Signing on with a whaling ship was the most exciting thing I'd ever done, and I saw it as a means to an end. Someday I would captain my own crew and eventually own a fleet of similar vessels. With tears in her eyes, Nina kissed me farewell, and I did not see her again for many months. As an apprentice to the gaffer, I got to see the trafficking and killing of the great beasts up close. Nothing has ever fired my spirit so. As the wind and the pounding waves racing after a wounded whale being pulled off a skein of cables embedded in its thick flesh. I changed more of those first 7 months than I had in the previous 7 years. Whaling was beginning to put its mark on me so that Nina barely recognized me when I returned, tanned and sinewy with muscle, weather creased already wrinkling the corners of my eyes, but she could see that I was filled with joy, having found my purpose. Oh, but it goes so wrong, dear sir. Admiralty and the Fleet, excerpt from a book on naval history. While each of the isles has some form of naval fleet, none is more envied than that of Bristol, with its long, proud history of great ships and admirals that command them. Boys come of age in the cities of Bristol hoping to someday captain such a ship, and the family dynasties are made by those captains who track down infamous pirates or crushing seditious uprisings, as during the Morley insurrection. In the times of war and peace, Bristol continues to innovate at sea. The ship designs of Anton Sokolov himself now represent the highest standard in the whaling trade, allowing crews to haul up their kill over the deck and begin their butchery and processing, even as the ship returns to Dunwall. 1 second, please. The crews could be seen working their latest whale as the ship moves slowly up the Wrenhaven River, coming to dock with one of the powerful warehouse companies, such as the Greaves Whaling House. Suspended in the rigging overhead and backlit by the setting sun, the silhouette of one of these creatures makes a moving sight as it cruises to its final resting place in the industry heart of the capital city. So yeah, their whole culture is based around whaling.
Log entry 1-4. Seems we've moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to the staging location. Pendleton's voting block and my military connections. All we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point, we need a man who can kill the bastards for us. Corvo is more than capable of that, I have no doubt. End log. Is this off? Switch. Switch, where the hell is it?
So obviously they want us as an assassin. Which, as long as we're assassinating the people that betrayed us and killed the Empress, I'm on board with that. Above and beyond that, I'd rather not kill anybody unless we absolutely positively have to. I mean, I'll do it in self-defense, but I'm going to do my utmost to try to keep a relatively murder-free playthrough if I can. Alright, so this should be Lord Pendleton's room.
My furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which... Wallace! Please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you've had such a hard life, Mr. Rich. Okay, so... Hello? Oh, now we can talk to Wallace.
If I may, I am the personal assistant to Lord Pendleton, and one of the senior servants at Pendleton House, as was my father. Now I am entrusted with this house, the home of the Loyalists. I have never seen the Admiral fail at any venture. If order can be restored to the city of Dunwall, I believe he can do it. If anyone can get your old life back, it's him.
That's good to know.
I don't need to tell you, if the authorities investigated this place, we would be hard-pressed to explain ourselves. We brought a few trifles over from Pendleton Manor. A touch of home in these trying times.
Glad to see you can still live like a pimp in the slums.
Your room in the loft should assure your privacy. Lord Pendleton was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, but there was a great shuffling of the aristocratic families. My lord was attacked by vipers from all sides. I understand you were once welcome at court, before the murder. May I say I am relieved to have another man here who knows the courtly world. This building has stood here for over 3 centuries. As long as Lord Pendleton calls it home, I would defend it with my life. I may well have to.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Alright, so let's see if we can't finish taking a poke around before we finally do the scene. This should be what leads to our room. We may be able to get to some loot that way, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. Here's my chambers. Simple bed. Simple living establishment. Oh, there she is. Hello. Okay. Much like Thief, whenever you grab anything, it immediately converts to currency, so that's really nice. I like the fact that both of those games did this. But I gotta say, well, the new Thief definitely looks more impressive because it's a newer game. Many aspects about it are, faulty. The inability to jump, context-sensitive crap, things like that. It's just, this game surpasses that because of the fact that it doesn't do that nonsense. Can we get over there? No, I don't think we can. Trials of Aptitude, except from a book on esoteric practices of the Abbey. Oh, no, we read that. The Fugue Feast, except from a book on celebrations and holidays. At the end of every year, after the last day of the month of songs, we begin the Fugue Feast. A new year has not yet started, and thus the time that follows is outside the calendar. A period of celebration and feasting begins, during which the people abandon the very practices that keep them whole and healthy over the year. Many leave their homes, euphoric with spirits and potent herbs. Some paint their faces or wear masks to conceal themselves as they pursue their passions without reservation. When the right cosmological signs are observed in the time, it is time for the calendar to begin anew. The sitting overseer calls for a hymn of atonement and the fugue feast ends. Families return to their homes, wives to their husbands, enemies put down their weapons, and fires are extinguished. No complaint is given for those who have wronged others, deviated from ancient codes, and discarded oaths. For this time during the astrological alignment does not exist and is not recorded. The following day starts the new year, marked on the first day of the month of Earth, as it has always been. So they get a couple of days of do whatever the hell you want, no consequences. That's kind of messed up. Okay, so there's another book over here. Call of the Spheres, Volume 1. Excerpt from a work of fiction, early chapters. My stomach twisted as the engines of the odd vessel roared louder. It was the creation of Orcado, third prefect from the Academy of Natural Philosophy. He was exhilarated, savoring each of the small craft's undulations. Orcado pulled the lever, and a great gout of smoke surrounded us. The smell of the burning whale oil grew unbearable as the machine propelled itself upward. I was too afraid to look through the window, which suddenly didn't feel thick enough. As if knowing my thoughts, Overseer Bryn looked at me and smiled. Recite some of the litany, my pupil. It will protect your heart from the turpitude of the void on our way to the outer spheres. So I think we've pretty much grabbed everything we can over here. So we got all this little extra stuff. We actually might be able to get down into his shop, even though we're not supposed to be able to yet. I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, nope, the window's boarded up. You really can't get in here. I guess that makes sense. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and head in and get prepped for the next sequence. Actually, can I go down into the sewers? Okay, we're going to make a quick jaunt to the sewers if I can before we head in. Because I want the next the cutscene to be the start of the next video, so... I know I was going to try to do it for this, but I forgot there was so much loot and so many people to talk to. So at least we got a lot of the important conversations of beating people out of the way. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, so we need the sewer key to get in there anyway, but we did get more loot, so... that was a useful thing. We've already searched this building, so... now we just need to go up there and talk to these guys. So I believe we're pretty much ready, because the only thing left is...
We can continue this later, Lord.
or we're going to do the cutscene now.
The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock. A true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pits pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
We're going to finish our interactions with these
Yes.
guys.
Piero's as much
Pleased to
artist
meet you,
as
Master Corvo.
He's
I saw
going
you
to
at court
craft
in
the gear you'll need.
happier days,
Go talk to him.
but you might not remember. I was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, Hiram
Oops,
Burroughs,
that kind of...
back when he was just
basically,
a spy master. He's one manipulative bastard, I can tell you
The Admiral
that.
basically told me to go talk to Piero. He's a brilliant
There's something
inventor.
distinguished about you, Corvo. Was there nobility back in your family line? I wouldn't be surprised. Did you know I'm distant kin to the late Empress and her line? Not close enough, sadly. I'll never be Emperor.
What a shame.
Most of the nobility went straight over to the Lord Regent's side after the Empress died. Easiest thing to do. But to me, a noble birth requires a sense of loyalty. This city has fallen into ruin since the plague struck. These poor weepers moaning and bleeding from the eyes. They say there's no cure for the plague once it advances that far. Terrible.
Yeah, it is. You make it sound like it's nothing. Alright, let's finish talking to the
Good to
Admiral.
have you with us, Corvo. Nothing against the others, but there's no substitute for a man who's done his service for the crown. Have you talked to Piero yet? He made the weapons we left for you on your way out of Coleridge Prison. Go see him when you can. You don't know what it means to work with a man who stood at the Empress's right hand. We can't bring her back, but at least we have the man she trusted most. And maybe we can help you right some of the wrongs done to you. This bar is mine, but please, treat it as your home.
Thank you.
Piero still wants a word with you. He's not a diplomat, but he's a brilliant man. Samuel is a blessing. Without him, we couldn't navigate the waters of the river at night. We keep our lights low to avoid prying eyes. What I wouldn't give to be back at sea. I told them I'd be damned if I sail under a usurper's flag. You should have seen their faces. Curse the Lord Regent. I might have taken to piracy after the Navy, but then inspiration struck me, and I started assembling our little group here.
Glad you did.
The Empire was built on its Navy. Never forget that. I served proudly until the bureaucrats took over. Pendleton's a good man. Used to be close to that snake, the Lord Regent himself. Don't be fooled by the fact that Pendleton's a noble, though. Not all of them are terrible. I bought this bar years ago. There were some happy times here before the plague hit the city. Before the Empress was killed and everything went to shit. We'll make it right again together.
Let's hope so. So let's just finish looting this place, then we'll call it the end of the episode. I know I ran way over time, but I accidentally triggered the cutscene and we're not going to stop in the middle of it, so yeah. Alright, so that should be everything we can loot. So in the start of the next episode, we will go meet the infamous Piero that made all of our stuff. So, thank you everybody for watching. You guys are awesome viewers. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. It means a lot to me and I hope you enjoy them. So you all take care of yourselves. If you want to see more of me, keep up another video on the list, or stay tuned for more. I hope you're getting into the storyline because it's just finally starting to get good. In the meantime, goodbye everybody.